and all the, they say in Scripture that all the pain, even of other lifetimes, sits in the cells of our body.
Mm.
And as this energy begins to stream through it, it dissolves it, and you become more light-filled.
Mm.
And you experience it, and people even see it. They see it on your face.
Mm.
That's why people say, oh, what's happened to you?
Mm.
Because your cellular structure is shifting and changing.
Mm.
Now, I'm not a scientist, so I'm not going to give you rock-solid proof of that, but there are plenty of scientists who are doing that today.
Mm.
And there's plenty of books that already describe how this can happen.
Mm.
And what I have to offer is the experience of it, because it's not a mental construct. It's not like, oh, that's a great idea. This is not about a great idea. This is about you experience it for yourself. Try on that new pair of shoes and walk around in it. And then you find out, did you like them? How did it fit? What's happening in your life? You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
But let me just add one thing to that. In that, what I love with the three-breath awareness is, imagine that you're in a very challenging situation. Could be at work, could be with a member of your family, and you're face-to-face with each other. And this person is going at it, and you can feel a lot of upset in your body. It's not the time to close your eyes.
or it could be.
They will think you've lost your brain. What are they doing? What you really want to do is, imagine now, just take a moment now and find a point of focus in the room where you are. And you don't even have to make a big deal out of that breathing. You could do it very silently. But now you have that knowing to connect back to that place that you got to in stillness. And as you do, you will literally feel the air around you shift. So you're not just like an angry person who's being quiet. You know the difference? They're just waiting to lambaste me the minute I stop talking. Because they're not just being quiet. They're ready to just strike out at me. No, what you're doing is shifting the content of everything that's occurring around you. Because that magnetic field is shifting within you. And that field goes from your body out into the world around you. So pretty soon that person across from you, either they begin shifting into the vibration where you are, and suddenly in your quiet they go, oh, well maybe there is a new way to do this. Or they're still in such anger, they have to leave your presence because you've shifted the space. So now they're very uncomfortable in the space. So that's another good way to utilize this practice, this very simple practice, with your eyes open as well. You're just going to be receiving two slightly different things from it.
Great. Now, Marlise, you touched on a very interesting point there as well. I guess the experiences of this lifetime and the things that are coming up for cleansing and healing, but also I see lots of people that are opening to a more energetic ways of being, and often things pop up for them that actually feel so strong, but they can't actually reference it to this particular lifetime. And I guess when you take that concept out to what's actually happening on planet Earth, it does feel like a real deep cleansing of the human family system at a much bigger level, and not just for the time that we're in, but for all time.
Right.
And almost like an orchestration to move back to like a place of healing and wholeness. And I was just wondering if you could just maybe go a little bit deeper into when things come up for people that feel totally out of context of their life. They might not have any reference to it within their own existing lifetime.
Right. Well, one thing I'd like to let you know is that I had asked with such clarity and focus to understand who I was at that level of freedom. I knew it was possible, and I knew it was possible in this lifetime. And so I made time for stillness, lots of time. And I opened the door and said, show me, guide me, show me, guide me. And it actually happened at a time when I had a really bad injury, and it was going to stop me from walking, and, you know, they were talking about doing all kinds of surgery, and I just said, oh, my goodness, you know, this can't be. I want to get back to health and well-being. And so I began to draw a new understanding into my life, and I was asking and asking and asking for this understanding, and I woke up on this one given morning. It was November the 11th, 2001, and I was in such a state of sadness from I was having pictures of all the horrifying things I feel I've done in my life, you know, and of that feeling of I'll never be forgiven. And in the midst of that, this profound energy began pouring through my whole body, like with an intense vibration. And as it moved through me, I literally felt it just pulling all that sadness and anger and upset out of my body, literally pulling it out and gone. Now, in the coming days, I began having more and more energetic experiences. And in the coming year, so it took a period of time for me to integrate this into my body and into my understanding. And I recently, and so this has been since 2001, and it hasn't stopped. It's infinite. Why would it stop? So there are more places that we can go to if we allow ourselves that understanding. And what I want to share with people is, as I feel an expansion of that energy, of consciousness moving through me, it often makes me feel irritable. It's almost so much energy, I don't know what to do with it. So for anybody who's grown up thinking bliss and ecstasy having to do with higher consciousness, yes, that exists too. Beyond even description, it exists. And there will be times of this profound energy moving through you that is releasing the pains from the past, releasing the misconception of who we thought we were, releasing and dissolving all that unconsciousness, that pain body that has lived within us for so long, wants to be let go. And so when you experience, sometimes people experience like surges of energy or feelings of anxiousness, imagine that it could be you're experiencing an expansion of you as an energy human being, of light, of spirit, not just this weighty piece of chunk of matter, you know what I'm saying? And so you want to get in water, you know, and release it and let go, because that water kind of neutralizes everything. You want to take a walk, you know, and like sing and dance and shout and really move the energy out of your body. And then as you move it out, then you can go back into stillness, and then you can connect more to the understanding of what's happening for you. But actually, sometimes when we're having big movements, there's no way you can hold still. You know, take a walk, go grab a bite to eat somewhere, call a friend you haven't talked to in a long time. Shift what's happening around you in the moment so you can begin to allow everything to move through you in a very simple way.
Beautiful. Now, I know for people who start to experience these energetic experiences, that it can be quite frightening, because they may not actually have a reference point for the kinds of experiences they're going through. And I see that with lots of people who are on this path, that's happening more and more often. And I was just wondering if you had any tips for people if they are going into fear when new energetic experiences arise. What sort of mind awareness can they have going through their consciousness just to hold that space and allow that natural process to take its course?
You know, one of the practices that I love is called declarations. And I would grab a journal and begin declaring who I know myself to be.